I saw Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. Tripping balls. All right, and welcome back to Ruben Uncut. Here to talk about Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. Should you see it? Did I like it? What are my thoughts on some of the deeper messaging? How much sense did the movie make to me while I was tripping balls? All of this we're going to get into. I'm going to talk to you about it. That's right. Megalopolis, tripping balls. Now, I will say here, so I was excited to see Megalopolis because I'm always excited about divisive movies. Why? Because if a movie is divisive, I know I'm going to have a strong opinion about it one way or the other. I'm either going to hate it, like the people who hate it, or I'm going to love it, like the people who disagree with the people who hate it. How did I feel about Megalopolis? Megalopolis, in all honesty, I had a good time. Do I think you'll have a good time? Well, let me ask you some basic questions, and depending on your answer, the answer may be yes or the answer may be no. First of all, how do you feel about naturalistic acting, directing, and storytelling? If you like naturalistic, where things sound and look mostly like real life, then this is not for you. In fact, number one group of people I would recommend this movie to are people who know who Bertolt Brecht is. Do you know who Bertolt Brecht is? Well, I'm going to talk to you about Bertolt Brecht for a minute, okay? So who is Bertolt Brecht? Bertolt Brecht was a playwright from the early 20th century, or was it late 18th century? I'm not looking it up. I took theater history. I should know what I'm talking about. I want to say early 20th century. But he had a very interesting idea and conception about how he would write his plays. You see, because he believed in something he called alienation. Now, I know what you're saying. Ruben, we've heard the word alienation before. What are you talking about? Well, Bertolt Brecht believed in alienating the audience from his work. And what I mean by that is he never wanted the audience to be so absorbed in the story he was telling that they were connecting with it emotionally instead of intellectually. So Brechtian plays are written to be unnatural, to constantly remind you that you are watching a play, so that you can be absorbing the ideas instead of being taken along for the emotional ride, which Bertolt Brecht believed made us dumb. That's gross oversimplification of his theories, but basically the idea is that he believed important messages were being lost because we were getting too wrapped up in feeling feelings for characters and stories. Now, I'm not saying that this movie doesn't have any emotion or heart or depth to it. What I'm saying is that this movie wants you to know it's a movie. You see, Francis Ford Coppola goes out of his way to tell us that this is a fable. Well, what is a fable? A fable is a type of fairy tale made specifically to instruct you in some type of morality. It's also, fables are typically not naturalistic and feature magic realism at best and pure fantasy at the most wild. Megalopolis, a little bit of both. Throughout the movie, Francis Ford Coppola uses an interesting combination of contemporary CGI mixed with special effects styles that could best be examples of the 1950s, maybe even the silent eras of film. It looks distinctly unreal, surreal, if you will. The film itself is honestly a smorgasbord of surrealist, dreamlike imagery from beginning to end, which is why, if you're going to go see it, I do recommend Trippin' Balls. Because this is the most balls trippinest friendly movie I've seen this year. And most movies are at least good tripping balls. Is Megalopolis great tripping balls? Well, it's probably better than not tripping balls, just because it gives you an extra oomph to it. You know what I'm saying? What is Megalopolis about? Well, it's about Adam Driver's character named Caesar. Yes, it's important to understand that this is the entire movie is a metaphor for the progress of society and how we as a society should strive to constantly be improving society in order to make life better for everyone around us. This is ultimately what Megalopolis is about. And it examines sort of our contemporary American world against this strangely both futuristic and retro sort of world that he's built up. Something that is a combination, is a strange mix of 1950s aesthetic with ancient Rome and sort of like futurism. It's wild and all over the place and colorful and visual and full of performances that, while not naturalistic, are quite entertaining from a widely bizarre cast starring Adam Driver, of course, as the main character, Giancarlo Esposito, Natalie Emmanuel, Dustin Hoffman, Jason Schwartzman, Aubrey Plaza, John Voight, and pretty much just being himself, Shia LaBeouf. I joke. Shia LaBeouf isn't quite being himself. He's obviously the movie's metaphor for Trump. Yeah. But anyways, Megalopolis centers on Adam Driver's character, Caesar. Now, Caesar is a brilliant engineer and the head of the governmental department of design, which, if I were to sum up Megalopolis in one sentence, it would be, it's like if someone adapted the Fountainhead, but deliberately adapted it in a way that they knew would spit on Ayn Rand's face, memory, and legacy, and really wanted to piss her off, because that's what Megalopolis is, sort of. It has that kind of storytelling, you know, where it follows this guy who's very driven, and it goes over a long period of time and encapsulates many different beats in his life. It's kind of like that. It's got a little bit of a what's that fucking movie? It's got a little bit of everything in here, to be completely honest. Its metaphors and satires of contemporary America can be quite amusing at other times, and sometimes quite obtuse. However, back to what the story's about. So this guy, Caesar, is a genius architect who also happens to have the power to stop time. This power may or may not be connected to his love of his dead wife and his mysterious futuristic element that he's created. How, you know, like that one plot point from Atlas Shrugged, that he's going to use to build his city may or may not be connected to her mysterious disappearance. But at the end of the day, the movie is extremely pro-future, pro-altruism, pro things being bigger than yourself. You know, all the things that Ayn Rand vehemently hated. Oh, and love. It's pro-love. It's pro-civilization. It's pro-society. Of course, the thing that Ayn Rand would hate the most is that the main character works for the government. In fact, she'd probably side with the mayor who wants to put in the casino. But Megalopolis is a lot more than that I've just described as well. Megalopolis is not just the story of this man's life, but the story of this man's love. You see, he's into the character Natalie Emmanuel plays, and he's, at first he thinks that she's just some dumb debutante socialite. But then she reveals that she knows about his power. She can tell when he's freezing time, something no one else seems to be aware of. So now he's into her. And what follows is a passionate love story full of strange magic realism and political intrigue. Because I haven't even told you a fraction of the characters in this movie. John Voight plays Caesar's uncle, Shia LaBeouf's dad. His name is Crassus, and he's supposed to be the equivalent of like a powerful Roman type fella. He, of course, his other bitter rival is Shia LaBeouf, who hates him because he is successful and a genius. And Shia LaBeouf's character is meant to be Trump. Maybe not entirely, but there's a number of moments and lines of dialogue where it's like, well, that's pretty fucking on the nose. So, Francis. Oh, I just realized Giancarlo Esposito's character is named Francis. And they named the baby Francis. I'm getting ahead of myself. These are spoilers. But Caesar, all right. So if you already think you want to watch this movie, go watch it now. And then come back and finish this video because you'll probably be like, what the fuck was that? And I'll be like, hold on, I'll explain it. Only not really, because I should probably watch it several more times before I attempt to actually explain it to anyone. Where was I? Right. So, Adam Driver. I like Adam Driver's performance. I think it works for this. Actually, I was a big fan of all the performances. Yes, I know they're not naturalistic, but the film is not trying to be naturalistic. You have to sort of accept that. It's meant to be dreamlike because it's a fairy tale. This movie is meant to be a fable. Remember, that's a fairy tale that is specifically meant to impart some type of morality or lesson. Now, the thing is that Natalie Emmanuel's character is actually the mayor's daughter, Giancarlo Esposito. And she falls in love with Caesar, something the mayor can't stand. And that becomes a major pivotal point between their characters, leaving us to ask the question, will he ever learn to accept that Adam Driver's character is not evil? Because because he hates this guy. The mayor hates this guy, which there's a lot of reasons for it. People think he's cool. People think the mayor is cringe. They think the mayor is cringe because he is the mayor of a poor city who resides over a lot of slums. A lot of slums that Adam Driver's character demolishes in order to build a better future, a better civilization. Of course, you can't build that automatically. You can't build it right away. The movie implies it takes several years for him to build his city. In the meantime, the former residents of the slum live out on the streets, slowly growing more frustrated and angry with Caesar, who destroyed their previously run down ghettos. Slums? We'll stick with slums. They're pretty ethnically diverse. Aubrey Plaza plays a TMZ style journalist. Actually, that might be unfair to TMZ. She's more of an E journalist. You know that channel? Does that channel still exist? I honestly don't fucking know. But the point is that Aubrey Plaza plays this journalist who is in love with Caesar. But when Caesar won't marry her, she decides to marry his uncle, to get his uncle's money. Honestly, Aubrey Plaza has some of the funniest moments in the movie, and some of Adam Driver's funniest moments are him rejecting her. There are a number of twists and turns throughout the film. One does wonder what changes he made to the script in the number of years that it took him to make this, because there are a number of things that he specifically is making commentary on that are very relevant now. For example, like I said, Shia LaBeouf's character is definitely some type of Trump allegory. Or at least we're meant to think of Trump on some level when we think about his character. Shia LaBeouf gives a honestly very Shia LaBeouf-y performance, playing one of the main bad guys of the film. There's a brief shot later on, of course, he's the bad guy. He's going to get his comeuppance, and he's being strung up by a crowd of people who now realize that he was using them to try and gain power. But they string him up, and if you look for it, someone throws a Make America Great hat at him again. Or at least that's what it appeared to be. That's what the red hat appeared to be. It happens pretty fast. I'd have to freeze the frame to be able to tell you if that's actually what the hat said. But anyways, that's what it appears to be. And even if it's not exactly that, it's hard for me to believe that it wasn't intentional, especially with a number of aspects about his character. The film is an epic, by the way, so do brace yourself. I will say that the last half of the movie does feel a bit long. And when you're thinking about how long something is when you're tripping balls, that's normally a sign that the pacing is off. Because when you're tripping balls, time normally doesn't exist. But if you're sitting there going, man, this movie's still going on, and you're tripping balls, the movie is possibly a little bit too long, which is unfortunate because this film also probably, there's probably a longer cut. There's probably like a 4-hour director's cut of this film somewhere. Let's be real. So much happens in this movie. I really don't want to just try and go beat for beat analyzing it for you. That would be honestly exhausting because it is an epic. You see, I enjoyed Megalopolis. I feel like I would need to see it again to really tell you how good of a film it truly is. But the thing I've always said is that I would rather watch bad art than good product. And Megalopolis, whether it's good art or bad art, it is at least art. It is at least ambitious. It is at least a film that is not trying to be like every other film, even though it has clear influences. Megalopolis is a breath of fresh air, be it occasionally drawn out, poorly paced breath of fresh air. Is the film for everyone? No. I can honestly say that this film is not for everyone. Megalopolis will probably be off-putting to anyone who isn't up for a fairy tale epic, because that's what it is. Oh, right. Like I was saying, though, the film, I wonder how many changes were made to the script, because the film does have a number of references to things that are very contemporary, such as purity grifters, deep fakes, internet influencers, sensationalistic media, and of course, the rich and powerful. The film's recognition that sometimes the better future, the brighter future, may mean that there is some level of you have to wait for it, is also an interesting theme throughout the film. We can't get to a better world right away, the film seems to say. This is something that the film is very forward with us. It says we can't give in. We can't let the naysayers of our society bring us down, to hold us back from our future potential. Megalopolis really strives for something greater. It's not based on any specific material. This is Francis Ford Coppola's original vision. We don't always get to see that. It's, even though it does technically feature a man who has superpowers, it's not a superhero movie. Megalopolis is a lot of things. It's a retro style envisioning of the future. It's futuristic. It's fairy tale-esque. It has a lot of allusions to the Roman Empire. In fact, that's what the movie's talking about the most. What is the movie talking about? It's talking about the fact that civilization is worth saving. That human beings are worth working through our problems to get to a better future and a better tomorrow. That just because things are hard now doesn't mean we can't achieve more. And that we can't allow ourselves to be distracted by the petty things of the world, like greed, the lust for power or wealth. These things are distractions from truly great accomplishments. Lust, power, money, wealth, these things are all sought by Caesar's enemies. But him and the woman he loves, what do they seek? They seek to build the city of the future for everyone. Because at the end of the day, the mysterious substance that holds everything together is love. I didn't realize I'd be able to make so much of what I had to say about this movie so concisely. I know what you're saying. This video is like 20 minutes long, but I normally talk about movies for like a friggin' hour. Okay, more like a half hour. I need to see this movie again, I think is what I'm saying. Do you need to see this movie? You know what? I've talked myself into it. I do recommend Megalopolis. Although it's definitely not for everyone. And it's not perfect. It's got its flaws. But I love this weird shit. If you like weird shit, definitely check out Megalopolis. I thought I was going to be way harder on this movie. I've actually talked myself more into liking it. Wow. Good for you, Francis. Good for you. Like I said, not perfect. Got a lot of problems, especially in that second half. But honestly, yes, I give Megalopolis a recommend in place of like a real ranking or rating system of some kind. I rate it art. Is it overly ambitious? Definitely. Does it achieve everything it wants to? Certainly not. Is it for everyone? Quite clearly, it is not. Is it for you? I don't know. How do you feel about Bertolt Brecht? Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this program, please like and subscribe on YouTube. Also, check me out on Spotify or wherever else you get your podcasts. If you would like to reach out to the podcast, you can email me at rubenuncut@gmail.com. Have a wonderful whatever, wherever, whoever you are.